Wildfires, a force of nature so destructive, they leave communities and families climbing out of ashes, looking for answers. But what happens when the answers aren't so clear? When the explanations, they feel incomplete, even a little bit suspicious. That's when people do what people do. They start to speculate, or what some people call conspiracy theory. In this video, I'm going to run down to you the 7 most popular conspiracy theories about the wildfires in Los Angeles. Trust me, folks, this one is going to hit home. Number 1, let's talk about one of the most talked about conspiracy theorists I've seen online: directed energy weapons. For some folks, the idea of wildfires being sparked by dry brush and winds just isn't enough for them. They need something a little bit more sexy. Instead, they claim it was lasers. Yes, lasers. Lasers fired from satellites. Those lasers are the real culprits. Why? It's one way for these rich fat cats. Clear the land away so they can buy up everything and rebuild in a manner that's more profitable to them. Billionaires, developers, or even secret government agencies. Now, I know some of y'all shaking your heads going, come on, Tim Black. Come on, man, this ain't real. But think about it. It does have merit. If you're a Black American and you know your history, you know a little thing, or a bit about a little thing called urban renewal. And if you're from Chicago, you may have known of Brynsville. Los Angeles had a section known as Sugar Hill. These areas were targeted. We've seen our neighborhoods targeted before. This theory taps into the historical trauma, turning skepticism into a full-blown conspiracy. Number 2, here's another theory that caught fire, no pun intended. Some believe these wildfires aren't natural at all, but there's something that have been set in order to push the agenda of climate change. Yeah, you need some way to confirm to people's minds that this climate change thing is real. And remember, there is money to be made creating climate change objects, climate change abilities, from the electric cars to the windmills to the solar panels. It's a big market. It's just as big a market for oil and fossil fuels as there is about climate change renewal products. And it also sells the rest of the world on this whole idea about climate change. Remember, this is a theory. Some say this is all being done to push the climate change agenda. Not only that, but by having a natural disaster, and they say that the natural disaster causes the climate change, it lets the corporations who have been damaging our earth off the hook. Whether it's increased taxes, restricted land use, or controlling resources. This theory plays into the idea that the system is rigged. Number 3, the elite land grab. This one is straight out of a dystopian movie. Sort of like Mad Max. The theory goes, these wildfires are no accident. These are deliberate attempts to force people off their land, making it ripe for development. And when you see the aerial shots of untouched mansions surrounded by devastated areas, homes, it could almost make anyone think for a second, how'd that happen? It's easy to understand why some people would find that a little suspicious. Black folks, let's keep it real. This ain't the first time the idea that folks are destroying land in order to push people off the land or trying to grab land from us in particular, that ain't a new concept, particularly when it comes to someone else gaining profit at our expense. From the Tulsa Massacre to Katrina, history shows us that land ownership isn't just about property. It's about power. This theory hits home because, well, we've seen this playbook before. Number 4, the insurance scam angle. Now, we've got the insurance scam angle, and folks, some theorists claim these fires are orchestrated by wealthy homeowners or corporations looking to cash in on insurance payouts. With sky-high property values in LA, a disaster could turn into a financial windfall for the right people. Now, I'm not saying it's true. In fact, I'm not saying anything on this list is true. But if you ever dealt with realigning or struggling to get fair insurance coverage, you know these companies ain't saints. Look at what's going on now with the healthcare industry. Folks, what's happening with insurance companies for homes due to fire, flood, and other disasters is just as diabolical. They were dropping people a month before the fires. It is a plague of homes that are either not covered or undercovered for fire. The idea that the rich can weaponize our systems while working people and poor people struggle, that's not a new idea. That's something that is as American as hot dogs, apple pies, cookouts, chicken wings, and the Super Bowl. This ain't far-fetched. Number 5, political motives. Yes, some people, they have a theory that this is all done in order to empower certain political parties or to destroy or damage other political parties. Hey, some say the Democrats may have done this because they want to put Trump on his back foot, make him come into office dealing with the catastrophe. This is something that's going to require years of cleanup. Then others say, well, maybe Trump people did it because they're trying to what? Shame Joe Biden on his way out. The Republicans just took power. What way to dominate the news cycle, point at the Democrats, shame them further, and further erase their power and influence across the country than to give them a disaster and then say, hey, they can't run LA. Don't get them the keys back to the country and let's take more of them out of power. This is a theory that's really burning up. I'm not here to confirm or deny. I'm here to tell you what people are saying. I'm going to be honest. As dirty as our politics is, I don't put anything past a political party. We're talking about billions of dollars on the line. We're talking about special interest groups. I'm not saying they made the fires, but the idea that people could have did less or did more, they could have did more, didn't do more, intentionally, based on political motives, worse things have happened. Let's just say that. Number 6, cover up and theories. That's right, number 6, cover up and theories. Some believe that these fires were set in order to deflect and provide cover for other things that are happening right now that they want to overshadow and destroy evidence to, notably Sean Diddy Combs and his freak-offs. That's why some unfounded theories say that the Diddy sex crimes are going to be huge news, and a lot of celebrities and notable figures, politicians, even former presidents will be ensnarled in this. So what they want to do is get rid of as much evidence as possible. And what better way to get rid of evidence than to burn it? It is a theory. And number 7, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's right. Some conspiracy theorists blame DEI. Here's the idea. There's a theory that's being pushed by many people on the right that diversity, equity, and inclusion objectives caused the fire due to a lack of focus on actually fighting wildfires. They say money was dumped into building up this narrative, the promotions of some and the lack of hiring of others, notably the promotion and hiring of LGBTQ workers, without a focus on traditional firemen like white guys, has led to there not being enough white guys fighting fires. They're saying that the LA Fire Department took its eye off the ball and stopped doing what was needed in order to fight these fires because they are wrapped up in a narrative that is political correctness, that is of the woke variety, that is a focus on equity and inclusion. And I'd just like to add, I'm not saying I promote this idea at all. I mean, hey, For Black America, I want you to know only 3% of firefighters in LA are Black. So I don't know what they mean by, they ain't talking about Black people. They talking about other groups of people when they talk about diversity, because ain't no real diversity in the LA Fire Department when it comes to Black folks. In fact, the demographics of the LA firefighters, you got like 3% Black, 4% Asian, 20% Latino, and the rest are white. 95% of firefighters in LA are men. And look, so I don't know what they're saying, but it is a theory. They believe that DEI directives lead to less effective, less competent workers. Not the fire itself, but the response to the fire. So why do these theories take root? It's simple. When there's a lack of information, people fill in the gaps. And when you got gaps that can be filled with historical facts such as COINTELPRO and all other types of historical documented facts, well, folks, that's a ripe soil for conspiracy theories. Let me be clear. If you're a Black American, you got a lot of reasons not to trust the U.S. government. Some of us would say, if you do trust the U.S. government, you a fool. And let me revise that, because there's not a group in America, not an ethnicity or race, that has any reason to disregard, distrust for the U.S. government. I mean, please. We've all got our reasons, whether you're Asian, Native American, Black, working class, poor, what have you. I mean, look how long they let big tobacco poison you with cigarettes before they had to officially say cigarettes cause cancer. 100 years or so. You think it really took 100 years to figure it out? Here's the thing. Not all conspiracies or ideas are conspiracy theories. And not all conspiracies are nonsense. Sometimes asking what's really going on, it's the only way to get answers. If you don't ask questions, how do you find out? If you don't put pressure on the U.S. government, they'll tell you nothing. The key is knowing when to draw the line between healthy skepticism and fear. Healthy skepticism can make you not go along with the sheep. But fear have you running out in the street, screaming with your head on fire, like your head's on fire, and get hit by a bus. Fear can be dangerous. It can also make you hurt other people. At the end of the day, whether these theories are true or not, we need to come together. We have to make sure we're not left behind when it comes to information that is vital about what's happening in our world. Let's turn our speculation into education. Because while they're busy hiding the truth, we got work to do. What do you think? Are these wild theories or reasonable questions about issues that have not been explained? Let me know in the comments. And remember, don't let fear guide you. Let knowledge lead you. I'm Tim Black. Stay strong. Wolfpack.